Call your mothers, call your fathers, call your brothers, call your pets. It's another episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, Andrew O'Hara, here with my pal and the Pied Piper of Elvis impersonators, Steven Robles. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I was gonna do that. What was it? TikTok meme. And then you like disappear. But that's I don't know how to do that in this live recording here. I don't know how to disappear. Are we allowed to say TikTok? We can say TikTok. We have a TikTok. Doesn't the Apple Insider team have a TikTok?
I don't know if we've posted anything to it yet. It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming,
Okay.
folks.
It's coming. That's a
TikTok addicts out there.
That's a teaser. Then that's a teaser. You know, this is not a topic, but for some reason, I usually have two Elgato key light airs that light me up here, and I turn them on, and for some reason one is not responding, and so I have just a hair of a Phantom of the Opera look where this side is a little shadowed. So I hope our viewers enjoy that. If you would like to see it, youtube.com/HomeKit Insider, you could see my Phantom of the Opera look. I don't know what's going on. They're Wemo switches. I don't know if this means I need to get those thread versions. You know what I mean?
It's a sign.
You know what I mean? Anyway, there was a huge Apple event last week. Well, not huge for our realm, because at the peak performance event that happened on March 8th, lots of things were announced. You got the iPhone SE, iPad Air, the huge Mac Studio. That was a big deal. We'll talk about that maybe. But I think not a single HomeKit thing in the event, or even really software related. I mean,
to be fair, we didn't expect it. So it's not like we're disappointed that something didn't rise. In fact, there was more HomeKit related news than I thought there was, because we had at least that tiny bit of HomePod news.
That's true.
Expanding. I mean, that's more than I expected. So I think that's a win.
That is true. So HomePod Mini is now available in Belgium, the Netherlands, and Switzerland. So that was the HomeKit news from the event. HomePod Mini. Available in more places. And, you know, I think we have to wait till WWDC for any HomeKit, at least software-related things. I don't know if this counts. You know, Apple TV is part of the home. It is a home hub.
For sure.
It's got Thread. And so the Apple TV did get, not the device, but Apple TV Plus, the service, got a little bit of a moment during the event, talking about the MLB and how Friday Night Baseball will be on Apple TV Plus, 2 games every Friday. And you'll be able to stream it, no extra cost. It's just part of the Apple TV Plus thing. Now, are you a baseball fan, Andrew? Do you know about baseball?
Yes, absolutely. And it's been, a thing here in Cleveland.
Right. Okay.
Dealing with all of that. There's a lot of opinionated people around these parts at the moment.
So, being a baseball fan, I don't know a lot about baseball. Apple said there'll be 2 games airing on Apple TV Plus every Friday. Mm-hmm. How many games happen on a given Friday? Is it like there's dozens of games happening and 2 will be on Apple TV Plus, or like how does that usually work on Fridays?
I could not tell you the schedule because I mainly watch the Indians and that's about it. So
gotcha.
As far as, it sounds like they're basically covering Friday games, right? Just like what Amazon took over Thursday Night Football, Apple is taking over like Friday Night Baseball games, 2 games. Doubleheader that day. But yeah, I'm curious at how this is going to work out with like carriage deals, because for me, when we go to watch a lot of sports, I'm trying to watch the Columbus Blue Jackets, I'm trying to watch the Indians game, trying to watch some of those, I have to go through this freaking weird, awful app. I can't even, Bally Sports. It was
Bally
Sports Ohio. And then it became Bally Sports because they was like sold off subsidiaries of stuff, and it's been a hassle. It's an awful app. Sometimes we'll pull it up and like there's no audio to things, and it's a pain. So I don't know how this is going to work with Apple TV Plus. If I will just be able to stream them like normal through Apple TV Plus, or if I'm going to get issues with, oh, sorry, because you're in the metro area, you need to switch to Bally. Which would be obnoxious, but not like Apple can do anything about those things. But just stupid, like, because we can't watch through Hulu or ESPN or the other normal services. I got to switch to that one app for random games.
Yeah, and supposedly there is not that whatever 2 games they air is not supposed to be like blacked out, even with like local restrictions. And so that was kind of the big selling point. Yeah, and then it also said baseball fans in U.S. and Canada will also have access to a 24/7 live stream with MLB game replays, news, and analysis. So it sounds like there'll be kind of like an MLB hub in the Apple TV Plus app, which we've talked about before, but like the Apple TV app, it can be a little weird, especially on the Apple TV. Like, where's the original content? Where like movie rentals and such. And so I'll be curious how they now organize MLB. If it'll be like a new tab at the top, it'll be like huge.
I think
banners.
it'll drop in because now they have an actual, of course, banners. They love the banners.
Yeah.
But they do have a whole tab dedicated now to Apple TV Plus originals in the Apple TV app. So that's already the home for those. I assume the MLB stuff is going to go in there, and there will be a dedicated card or appropriate banners when games are playing.
Right.
And I'm planning on doing a video on how to watch like MLB games through Apple TV when things actually
Launch.
arrive.
Yeah, they said
launch.
it's when season starts, so it'll be there.
Who knows when that will be at this point, right?
Oh, has it been delayed? Again, I follow nothing.
Yeah, they kept canceling
Oh, really?
the beginning of the season because they were arguing over player contracts and stuff. So who knows
Well,
when
suppose
that will be.
apparently, okay, so this is spring training. I'm looking now on the internet when the first games might be. Looks like no one knows. Yeah. It's, SB Nation says second week of 2022 regular season games canceled. And yeah, so we'll have to see. I think that's why Apple said whenever it starts, that's when we'll do this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting. Again, aside from that, maybe we could talk about the Mac Studio for a second because you have a Mac Pro, the big tower, the cheese grater, and Apple then announced at this last event the M1 Ultra chip. It's going to be super powerful. We had benchmarks, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it came out that saying the M1 Ultra Mac Studio spec'd out outperforms the Mac Pro, even at some of its highest configurations. Was that accurate as I saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty wild. I mean, I feel like they were just dissing the Mac Pro and the 27-inch iMac throughout the event. Like they basically said.
Okay, to be fair,
Yeah.
they weren't dissing the Mac Pro. They're dissing the Intel silicon on the inside.
That is true.
That is what they're dissing.
That's true.
Because they're like, look at this. It's a freaking 28-core Xeon processor, server workstation class CPU.
Right.
By the way, look at our little chip that we made after just a few years, and it is way faster, consumes less power,
Right.
all this crazy stuff.
Yeah. Pretty wild. So yeah, that is true. It was dissing Intel's chips. And so, I don't remember the last time Apple explicitly alluded to another product release. But at the end of the Peak Performance event, John Turnus said, our transition to Apple Silicon is almost complete. We have one left, the Mac Pro, but that's for another day. Just explicitly stating that there will be that updated Apple Silicon Mac Pro coming soon. I can't imagine what is going to go into that thing. There were a lot of rumors about the Jade 2C die, which is like the whatever the actual silicon chip is laid out on. And that's what the M1 Ultra chip is. That's the Jade 2C, meaning two M1 Max chips fused together. And the rumor was that Jade 4C is what would go into the most powerful Mac, and that would be the most powerful Apple Silicon chip. So I'm curious. John Turner also said, correct me if I'm wrong, but that the M1 Ultra is kind of like the last chip in the M1 lineup. And if that's accurate, would the Mac Pro either just be multiple M1 Ultras, like if that's how it would be advertised, or if they would just name it something totally different and just say this is now the X something chip, because like Intel has their Xeon chips that went in those high-end desktops. If Apple might rebrand it, even if it is just multiple M1 Ultra chips, rebrand it for the Mac Pro. I don't know. What did you think hearing that from during the event?
I think they needed to allude to the Mac Pro. Apple was on a very tight deadline. They had publicly disclosed that they had this transition timeline to move all of their machines over, and the Mac Pro hadn't got that upgrade yet.
Right.
So it was going to leave a lot of folks concerned at the future of the Mac Pro if Apple didn't mention it. They're announcing this machine that is specifically faster than the Mac Pro, and in many ways cheaper than the Mac Pro.
Yes.
They need to say that something is coming.
Right.
Or people are going to assume that the Mac Pro is dead. And they didn't want that.
Right.
So I understand why they had to kind of mention that, like, hey, BT dubs still coming. Just give us a little longer. I also do agree on the processor front. Apple, I was fairly certain. I haven't rewatched the event. I've been slammed with these videos, but I think they did say like we're adding one last chip to the M1 family.
Right.
So M1, M1 Pro, M1 Max, M1 Ultra. I was thinking exactly what you just said, which Apple will come up with a new terminology for a workstation class, server class, SoC that they'll use exclusively in like the Mac Pro.
Right.
Because I don't know, Apple made a big deal with the M1 Ultra that it wasn't going to require any developer, architecture changes for their apps to take advantage of the power of the M1 Ultra, even though it was just two M1 Maxes, stuck together. Right. So I think if like they made a big deal about it being a thing now, and then in like a couple months, like, hey, remember how we said it wasn't a big deal then? Well, now it is a thing, right. And you need to do it if you want to take advantage of it. Otherwise, there's no point.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, so I think that would be bad messaging if that was the case. So I would lean towards what you were saying, that they're going to come out with a desktop class, workstation class, SoC to just for the Mac Pro.
Right, right, and that chip will then open a portal to the multiverse. And that's how the Marvel Universe and our real world coincide. That's where they meet. It's because that chip is going to be so powerful. It tears a hole in time and space.
I believe it.
It's just insane. Like all the graphs, there's always talk about the graphs that Apple shows during this event. And it's like, is this vague? Is this telling me anything? But these graphs, specifically when it was the M1 Ultra, not only used way less power, which on a desktop, again, doesn't matter as much, but still matters some, uses way less power than all the Intel and NVIDIA chips and graphics cards, but outperforms them. With the M1 Max, there was still a graph or two where it like was a little under the performance, but way less power, which was important for laptops. Yeah. But now performance is above on all regards, and this thing's just going to be a beast. It's going to be awesome.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Aside from the Mac Studio, I was like really excited for that studio display. Like, yeah. That to me, that was the best thing that Apple announced. I've waited so long for. I showed you the picture in our Slack channel of what I had pulled out yesterday. For anyone who's watching who's not in our work Slack channel,
which is most people probably, but yes,
just most people.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
This guy, which is so heavy.
Thunderbolt
it's
display.
So big.
Yes.
Yes. I use this legitimately for many years past when I should have been using it. But I love it so much. And I've struggled with finding external displays that worked well. Yeah. And the only ones out there that really interfaced well with the Mac, obviously, were the LG ones. And if we look at that LG display, the LG 5K display, $200 less than the Apple display. $200 less. I actually have my compare up because I just published that video last week at this point when you guys are seeing it. But if we compare it to the LG one, the LG isn't as bright. It's 500 nits versus the Studio display, which is 600. Right. It has the same I/O, Thunderbolt, and 3 USB-C, but the USB-Cs are half the speed on the LG option, only 5 gigabytes per second versus 10 on the Studio display.
Right.
They both can be controlled through your Mac, like your keys, your brightness, volume, all of that. Apple has the 3D spatial audio speakers, 6-speaker array, whereas they only have stereo speakers on the LG. LG only delivers 94 watts power versus Apple's 96. And LG does have a 1080p camera, but it doesn't have the whole really wide field of view and center stage and everything that the Studio display has. So for $200, plus the Apple one has that awesome design. Yeah. I mean, it's all the whole aluminum body, super thin bezels. It looks incredible. Yeah. So for $200 difference, I'm sorry, LG, but you got to get the Studio display. And that's such a fair price point when looking at the competition. Yeah. So I am stoked. I used this thing for so long until I couldn't handle it. Basically, when the transition to 4K happened, I was like, I can't. But yeah, I've tried a lot of monitors. I hated having to use, on some of these third-party ones, like to adjust the volume or brightness, you do like a tiny little piddly joystick underneath and poke it and wiggle it, and it just didn't. It was unresponsive and slow. It was like a whole thing. So I would never use the speakers. It was This has been my life, just trying to find an external monitor that I really liked, and I haven't.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to spend $5,000, $6,000 if I want a stand, on the Pro Display XDR. So yeah, I think I was most excited for that display. And tie it into the HomeKit stuff, you got Siri support on there. So if you have a desktop like a Mac Pro or a Mac Mini or the Mac Studio that doesn't have Hello Apple Assistant built in, now you do with this display. It just automatically enables it. And coupled with Apple's new like keyboard stuff, I'm probably gonna stick with the Mac Pro if I don't go with a Studio, like the actual Studio desktop. But then I can use like my Mac in clamshell mode. I don't have to worry about Touch Bar anymore because Apple killed my other favorite feature. But I can use Touch ID on that new black keyboard. I can use Siri and a camera in Apple's monitor. It's got my bases covered. So I'm looking at probably just putting my Mac into clamshell mode and sticking with Apple's display.
It's a nice looking display. I have the LG Ultrafine 4K, and it's fine. You know, that's in the name.
I just didn't think they were. I hated the look of them.
Oh, they look
Like,
terrible.
They're plastic.
They wobble, and
yes, the wobble was
the wobble
awful.
is bad. Yeah, it's just not pretty. Like it's not. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm just like, nah, with the Studio display. But
Mid.
what's his name? Quinn Nelson from Snazzy Labs. He had a YouTube video. He was kind of poo-pooing the new Studio display, saying, yes, it's like 100 nits difference in brightness, but aside from that, the panel is very similar to what the LG 5K has been, meaning it's still the 60 hertz refresh rate, and resolution's the same. So he was kind of saying Apple should have done more, but considering you get that great design, the aluminum finish, and I think the camera and speakers are a big deal because at least the LG 4K, I think the 5K has a webcam, but the 4K has no built-in speakers and no webcam. And I think getting that spatial audio, getting the center stage on the webcam, so it can really be that all of those things for you. And I imagine it's going to sound pretty good. The MacBook Pro speakers, the 14 and 16 inch that just came out, are very good. And if Apple did that in a laptop, I think the speakers in this Studio display are going to be pretty sweet. So I think the whole package together is going to be pretty compelling, the Studio display. And so it's a great option. I will say the height adjustable stand, it's like $300 or $400 more. So if you do want to get height adjustable, you have to pay more for that. And then I looked at the Visa options. I don't know if you've ever looked at like Visa mounts on Amazon. They're just not great Visa. Like they are all kind of ugly. It's like I saw there was someone on Twitter I was talking to, and it was like maybe Apple needs to make a Visa arm also, because they're just all like this like black plasticky clamp style, and it's all like meh. So I was like tempted. I was like, oh, I wonder what a Visa mount would be, and it's like, no, these are all terrible. Like they don't look good. So
yeah, so it's funny you say this because when I was out at CES and there was great company, they make products. They had a new MagSafe accessory, Line Dock, I think it was. Okay. Yeah, and they had a new MagSafe like VESA mount, and I was like, "What is this?" And they made literally like a VESA mountable MagSafe thing, and it had like an Apple Watch puck, two MagSafe pucks in this like aluminum block. And you would just attach it to your VESA arm. So if you had like a dual monitor arm, one would be your monitor and one would hold your MagSafe, and it'd be a nice little spot for it. And they said the same thing. I was like, wow, the VESA arm though is pretty ugly in terms of what you pair with it. And they're like, yeah, we know. We had one option that we really liked, and they like completely sold out. And we haven't been able to find them since. And yeah, now they're struggling with like they need like a better looking VESA mount option, VESA arm option, and it's a thing. And yeah, Apple either needs to do this. There is one company that makes good ones that I saw, but I don't think they're in the U.S. I don't even know where they're available. Yeah. Don't remember the name. Remember all their products? Because I talked about them maybe with you with the iPad stands that were really cool. And they had multiple iPad stands that would use the magnets to hold like the iPad Pros, and they looked like mini iMacs or something, and they were outstanding. But they also had VESA arms available. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these actually look really nice. They're white and sleek and look much better than most of the black plastic things that you were talking about.
Yeah, so it looks like LINESTAND is the Visa mount, and it does look cool. It looks kind of crazy. It's like 2 MagSafe areas for like a phone and something else, plus an Apple Watch MagSafe thing. It actually goes on sale. As listeners hear this episode, it just went on sale like yesterday or maybe even today as you listen. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because it says there's a countdown when you go to the website on LineDoc. It says coming soon, 3 days, 15 hours, 59 minutes. So I think it goes on sale Monday. So as you're listening to this, you can go and get this stand. It's called LineSTAND. So I'll put the link in show notes to their website. But curious, it looks interesting, but I don't know. Anyway.
I think they were investigating, I hope I was allowed to say this, like an attachable version of it that could connect to like a 24-inch iMac or something that would connect to the side. So you don't have to use the VESA, so it's like an option, but it's not like a requirement.
Right. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that was the event. We'll see. I think you're gonna get a Mac Studio in hand and everything. So be on the lookout for all those videos, and I'm sure reviews will be going out this week as you listen to this episode. So we should probably talk about some HomeKit stuff because this is HomeKit Insider. Home devices, things like that.
Yes.
There was
probably should.
There was a big announcement from Level Lock. They make the HomeKit door locks. You got the Level Lock Touch. You got the Bolt. They have now come out with a keypad to go with your Level Lock. And we've talked about keypads before, how useful they can be, especially if you have kids or if you just have people that may not be tech savvy, but you want to give a code to get into your house. You can now get a keypad. It's $79, the keypad by itself. It gets discounted to $59 when you buy it with a Level Bolt or Level Lock. And it looks pretty sweet. I think this has solidified my choice. And in my new home construction, I'm going to go with Level Lock. And I'm going to get this keypad because that was the one thing that was like, Level Lock, or should I go with August? Because August also has a keypad. But now, I think my choice is Level Lock. It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I was definitely fighting between those two of which one would be like my one of choice that I would most recommend to folks. And it's the only thing is that we're stuck in this spot of HomeKey, right? There's 2 HomeKey locks. What's the plan?
Yeah.
What's the plan with anyone, whether it's August, Yale, or Level? Neither of them have really commented on the matter. And when we're looking at this, like in your situation, I know you want to be HomeKit ready day one, but what are they going to do? Are they going to try to add stuff through software, just a firmware update to existing hardware? The Level Lock Touch theoretically has the NFC. I mean, it doesn't, not theoretically, it does have NFC because you have the little cards that you can tap to authenticate and get in. So can they add that via firmware? Will they do that via firmware? I don't know. And I want a one that has I desperately want one with HomeKey for the biggest reason of granting guest access. Because whenever you do it through, and you can do it with the keypads, but still, I like that ability to grant guest access to people without having to generate a code and all this stuff. Just send them a key and it's done. So I hope that comes further. I hope Level adds something, or even August.
Yeah.
Just someone have some news, because I would hate to buy a piece of hardware and then a new one comes out very soon that doesn't have
HomeKey. Yeah, and like the Schlage is out there, and you can get that's the one with HomeKey right now. But when it comes to just visual appeal, it's fine. It's got the keypad built in. I'm just not about it. I think I want.
It's like that LG display.
It's just ultra fine. Like, it's fine, I guess.
just mid. It's just not a great option.
Oh, it's mid. But, with the Level Lock, I can put the keypad outside the door frame, have it on the wall over here. I got my doorbell camera over here. I have a little bit of symmetry, with the doorbell cam and the keypad. And then the lock can just look like a normal lock, but still be smart. And so I think that's what I'm going to go with. I like that idea. So anyway, link in the show notes to that Level Lock article. You could take it. It's available to get right now with the keypad. You can get the keypad and Level Lock. There is a huge price difference. I was just looking on Amazon. The Level Lock Smart Touch, so it actually comes with the exterior lock and the toggle for the inside. $329 for that Level Lock Touch, But if you just get the bolt, which is also HomeKit enabled, you can just get the bolt. That's like $179. It looked like $179.
Yeah.
So big difference there in costs. I'm thinking I might just go with the bolt, because then I can just get whatever door handle or whatever, and you can always trade it out later. Yeah.
Here's my thing. Steven.
Yeah.
I do not have any knowledge of anything, so don't think I'm like I'm leading into something. But if there is a chance that Level adds HomeKey, I don't think it will come to the Bolt, because the Bolt does not have NFC. The Level Lock Touch does. That's the one that you can get little credit card things, and you can tap them on the lock and authenticate that way. So you have NFC through those. You have the touch-sensitive surface that will authenticate through your phone. You have now a keypad option, or you have direct HomeKit. So yes, you can use your existing hardware with the Bolt, but when you get the Level Lock Touch, it comes with all the hardware, the throw for the inside, the keyhole and everything, hardware for the outside. It's the complete package, and it has the touch sensitivity, NFC support, and theoretically the possibility of getting HomeKey through firmware. Right. I don't know if they would do it, but it's at least feasible on that one, where it's completely out of the question, I think, for the regular Bolt.
Okay. And the Bolt is, I was actually wrong, it's like $180. So you're looking at $180 versus $250, which $250 is the lock with the toggle but no touch. And then to get the one with touch, it's $329, $330. So, oh man, I still got a little bit I can make that decision, so we'll see. But I'm just glad they have the keypad now. Great addition to the Level Lock family, and it's discounted when you buy it all together. Very cool. Well, to keep the HomeKit train going, and before we get to some other things, you have a Chipolo card we want to talk about, and you have some mysterious topics here that is carried over from last week. We want to thank our friends, longtime friends, Hunter Douglas, who makes incredible HomeKit shades for your home. HomeKit shades for your home. There you go. Because who doesn't love to live well? You can automate the shades. Let's just be real here. You've heard us talk about Hunter Douglas before. Smart shades, HomeKit enabled. You can program it. PowerView technology. They can go up and down on a schedule. You can control it with Siri. And they have great fabrics. They diffuse harsh sunlight. They look great on any window. They have lots of different designs and colors. I'm excited most for the blackout shades I'm going to be putting in my office. So if I'm going to do a video like this, doing a video podcast, I can just tell Siri to set a scene. Shade will come down and it'll be a blackout shade, automated. It's going to be awesome. They come with that rechargeable batteries, last a long time. And again, that's all because of their PowerView technology, which is HomeKit enabled. You have some Hunter Douglas shades already, Andrew. Tell me, what's something you love about your Hunter Douglas shades?
Two biggest things is of course,
Absolutely.
HomeKit support is the biggest thing. I do exactly like you do, where I set a studio scene. When I go to film our YouTube videos every single day, boom, hit a HomeKit scene, and I've got key lights turning on, as well as the top-facing lights turning off, and my window closing to block out that external sun. I also love that there's a top-down option, so a bottom up, top down, and you can literally move a bar of blinds or shades like up and down to block the sun. And when they were doing the install, he was like, if you wanted to, you could literally like follow the sun and create like a schedule, and it will literally like move exactly where the sun is throughout the day, letting the most light in while blocking the glare. And I'm like, that is amazing. That is so cool.
That's awesome. So maybe it's superior insulation that the shades provide that keeps you warmer in winter, cooler in summer, lowering utility bills, or you just want to live beautifully, enjoy greater convenience in your home with shades, and you have that enhanced style, increased comfort throughout the day. Here's what you do. You visit hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit today for your free Style Get Smarter design guide with fresh takes, creative ideas, and smart solutions for dressing your windows. hunterdouglas.com/HomeKit for your free design guide. That link is in the show notes. You can click it there as well. Our thanks to Hunter Douglas for sponsoring this episode. Now, you have some stuff. You have some secret topics that you snuck in last week and we didn't get to. So why don't you tell me, what do you want to go next? What do you want to do?
Let's go through it. Let's start at the top, man. So, yeah, I was recently out of town, and for who knows what, always out of town. And I was checking in on the cameras, and my mother-in-law was coming over to checking the cats, checking the chickens, and I had not really, like, I'd more often than not, like, pull up my security cameras when nothing's going on, right? They're kind of like, boom, camera. And you can see into the room, nothing sus going on. And this time, she comes in through the door. And so I had watched it. The thing, it zooms in on her and, like, followed her across the room. And it was so smooth. I was like, this camera is awesome. Because it's all doing that outside of HomeKit, but it's doing it in HomeKit. So when I'm watching the recorded video of her arriving in HomeKit, it does all that zooming. So HomeKit does not support that fancy functionality. Like if we're looking at dedicated HomeKit cams like the Eve or the Logitech, they don't have that. And yeah, they did that with the Ecobee. And I was like, holy smokes, I hadn't even like noticed this before, because I just, the way I'd positioned it was so wide across the room, it just followed her, and way easier to see what was going on. And I know the Arlo ones do this as well. I have the side camera. I think the preview popped up through HomeKit, and I'm watching it, and it zoomed in on our trash can because there was like this rug that was floundering about, and it thought it was a human dressed in a cape, I guess. So it was like flagging it. But I like that stuff, and it's a big reason to not go with a dedicated HomeKit camera. Like the Ecobee still supports HomeKit Secure Video, but it also has that like zoom and follow feature, which is awesome. So just more reasons that camera is pretty darn incredible. It is affordable, and it's got awesome stuff like that in it. It's such an underrated HomeKit camera.
That's very cool. So it's HomeKit Secure Video or just HomeKit?
No, I believe it's HomeKit Secure Video.
Does it do the zooming in? Yeah, does it do the zooming in HomeKit, or do you have to go to the Ecobee app for that?
No, it does the zoomies in HomeKit. Like I was watching in the Home app, and it did it, and that's why I was like so surprised. I don't ever use the Ecobee app for anything, and yes, I'm in HomeKit, and boom.
Okay.
There it goes. And I'm pretty sure it was in a recorded video. I don't want to grab my phone because it don't move my AirPods to my phone, but I'm pretty sure I was watching it in the Home app and like a recorded video through HomeKit Secure Video, and it did it. And
that's awesome. Like, it is HomeKit
awesome.
Secure Video. Yeah, it's on Ecobee's website as that.
Yeah.
So man, that's pretty cool. You just made me think of this. I just want to throw it in real quick as we're talking about kind of cameras. The where we're living right now, where we're squatting as our house is being built, the guy wanted to get a video doorbell, and he doesn't do HomeKit stuff or whatever, but I convinced him to get the Arlo doorbell cam. And so we actually got that and set it up the other day. And we've talked about it before, but it was my first-hand experience with it. Works really well, great quality. It was easy install. But one of the things he wanted was a chime for when someone hits the doorbell, it actually rings in the house. And I didn't realize or even know if there was a solution for that. I knew if he had like HomePod set up for himself, you could, do that kind of stuff in HomeKit. But I didn't realize Arlo actually has the chimes you can buy individually that connect in the Arlo app. And so when someone rings the doorbell, a little speaker that just plugs into an outlet, and the chime sounds. You can even customize the sound and all that. So I don't know. I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought that was really cool. And if people want that chime besides just getting the notification on their devices, Arlo is great at that. So anyway, just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and I think it'll work with existing home chimes,
if you have
right?
wired,
if you have those. But if you don't have home chimes and you don't have HomePods,
yes, and that's exactly right. You can connect the wires from your already installed chime in your house if you have one of those, but he did not, and so it was a great solution for that, which I don't think I'm going to have that in my new house, and so, but I didn't care for a chime. I mean, I'll get the notifications on my phone. But anyway. Very cool. Okay, just want to mention that. There's a little camera corner from the Ecobee smart camera, HomeKit Secure Video, that's cool, and then the Arlo doorbell cam. And now you have an even more mysterious bullet point here, Andrew. It's very scary. I don't even know. What does this mean? Okay, so I was working on my Twinkly review. Yeah.
Right, Twinkly lights. And I was like, I got like pretty much everything I needed, and I'm like, I could use a few more screenshots from the app. So I go to look in the app. Now, I have not used the Twinkly lights that I had currently set up outside because I had them set for like holiday lights. They were like snowing down on the bushes. So I had turned off that automation at some point. Plus, when are you like outside looking at your light, the front lights of your house? Unless you're coming home at night, you're not particularly noticing these things. So I had not like paid attention to them for quite some time, and I go to get these few screenshots, and they're unresponsive. I was like, "Bah, this isn't great for the review. I'm trying to review you, and you're not responsive. What are you doing to me right now?" So I go outside to curse at them in Spanish, and I'm like, "Why aren't you guys working? You all look fine." So I take it and I like unplug them and I plug it back in, and I'm like waiting and it's not showing up. And I'm like, is the outlet working? But my Hue lights are on the same outlet, so this should be fine. So I'm like plugging it in, and I'm like, why aren't these working? And I couldn't figure it out until...
Oh my goodness.
Look at it. And it's such a sharp
That's not an animal.
cut. So I am calling
Saboteur. Man, someone cut it.
I don't know. It just looks like such a straight cut. And it's like just in my garden bed. So yeah, it's too sharp to look like an animal. Nothing fell on it. I honestly don't know.
Now this couldn't have been like
this.
your wife trimming the hedges and accidentally clipped it and just didn't say anything.
Okay, I'm just saying. I don't know unless my wife trimmed hedges, but it's also in the middle of winter.
Right.
We don't really have a lot of hedges that need trimming.
Now wait a minute, you have cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
Did you not have a camera that could see this area?
No, because our house is fairly wide, so we have like our whole porch getup with a doorbell in the middle, and then to the side is like a whole other equal area of the house that then is not covered by cameras because it doesn't need to be.
Until today.
I didn't know this was a concern.
Wow.
Yeah, like I got how many cameras in this house, and it's like, oh cool, found the one spot that I didn't have a camera already.
Do you
perched.
think you have a disgruntled person around that might have clipped your lights?
Honestly, I have no idea. We are friendly with both of our neighbors. So, I mean, one is an older couple who would 1,000,000% say something if they had like a problem with our lights or something. And they always like look after our house every time we're gone, like above and beyond. Like I'll just like, hey, just giving you a heads up, we're gone for the weekend. If you want to keep an eye, see anything sus going over our place. And next time he's like, we got your packages, we got your mail, and
that's
like
nice.
all sorts of stuff. So like they're above and beyond being nice about things. The other side are more our age, and we hang out and drink with them and do all sorts of stuff. And they're further away, so they couldn't be. Are they going to just angrily come and cut a light line? So we do have like a neighbor across the street that we don't talk to, but we just don't know him. So if he is secretly angry about something, I don't know.
Does he look like the guy from Home Alone?
Hopefully, he's not a HomeKit
have a shovel.
listener.
He's like doing the salt, like the guy from Home Alone. Not that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but turns out
you need to look on your doorbell cam and see if he ever has like a hedge clipper and he's ever like looking real mad, looking over at your house and like clipping hedges. See if he clipped your lights. That's crazy though. I mean, that does not look like an animal bite. I feel like it would be more afraid if it was, animal sabotage. That's weird, man.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just weird. That's all.
Can you try and fix it? Do you think you can try and splice the power cable back?
Yeah. That's my plan. It's just been wet and rain for the longest time. It looks pretty darn tight in here, but I'm pretty sure I can separate out the wires. And
I'd be curious if you do that and it still works all properly and HomeKit and all that, which I guess is probably just power going down the line. I guess the HomeKit stuff would be in the plug part. So it's not in this. There's like this is just the power transformer, and it's a little chunkier just because of the weatherproofing and stuff. Like it's got this collar that removes. So this like unplugs and stuff like that. But this guy, it just your two wires, your standard stuff. So there's a little box about 2 feet up, the wire that actually has all the smart tech in it, so the Wi-Fi connectivity and all of that. Otherwise, that would still be working.
Otherwise, like if that was
you would see it.
pre-cut,
Yeah.
it would still function versus the lights. So yeah.
Okay, well,
Fun stuff.
Very curious what saga, what continuation of that. You should like bait them, like maybe put some more twinkly lights around, maybe like in unpleasant positions that would tempt someone.
I'm going to turn them on and they're going to be rainbow and run
Just go for it.
24/7 and fix the camera on it and see.
Oh man, maybe it was one of your
takes the
chickens.
bait.
Could your chickens get out there and chew that?
No.
That's right.
They live in the backyard in their massive coop.
Very curious. Yeah, keep us updated on that. See if any more sabotaged things happen. You know, someone like puts a cover over your doorbell cam and does something suspicious. Oof, that'd be crazy. You got to get more cameras. You need at least 10 more HomeKit security. You can do unlimited now. Apple has there's no limit. You can do as many HomeKit security video cameras as you want. You should do it.
That's true. I'm going to get that new Eve one.
There you go.
And
Floodlight
pop
cam.
that up.
Yeah. Do it.
Right on that corner.
Do it.
Catch them in the act.
All right, well, last thing we want to get to it. You actually did the review of the Chipolo credit card size tracker, which supports the Find My. I have one of these on order. I'm going to check my order status as you tell me about this because now I'm like, I want this thing now. I really wanted to try it. But tell me, what's going on with how was the Chipolo?
Yeah, so Chipolo is the first company to actually release a Find My enabled tracker for your wallet. So pre-Chipolo, you had a few options, right? If you wanted to track your wallet, you had limited options. So you could just stick an AirTag in your wallet, but they're kind of they're a little bulbous.
Yes.
Not ideal on their own. So for really since I've been able to get my hands on it, I've been using this, which is the card for AirTag from Nomad.
Cool.
Right? This thing, it's good. It thins it out and it doesn't thin it out. It doesn't make AirTags smaller, but it like tapers the sides, so it doesn't act as like a big spot in your wallet. Before you do, like, you clearly have like an AirTag circle on your wallet or something where the AirTag was sticking out. This just tapers that out a little more. So I've been using this since the card for AirTag had launched from Nomad, but it still is thick. Still doesn't work in a lot of wallets. Still not ideal. Then we now have the Chipolo card that I'm trying to find in my wallet because it's so thin I can't even find it in here. Nope.
Yeah, just flash your credit card number on the camera.
Here it is on the other side.
That'll be fun. Just
if
get
I
the
just
security
hold
code on
off
the back
all
too,
my
just
cards
in
here.
case. There you
Here we
go.
This is the Chipolo card, and it's basically the thickness of a couple credit cards. So if we take the Chipolo card and my Apple card, you can see the thickness difference, Stephen. It's very thin. I'd say it's a 2.25, 2.5 credit cards thick. So it's extremely thin, easily fits into your wallet. You probably can't even see it on the camera. Yeah, you can a little bit.
Cool.
It's got a little speaker in the corner, right? And this just slots into your wallet. Stick it in there somewhere, and whenever you need to find your wallet, you can use the Find My app, or you can use Siri, and boom. So it adds to the Find My app very easily. You go to the Find My app, hit the Add New Device button in the corner. You press the activation button on your Chipolo card, springs to life, shows up in the app. Hit Add, give it a name, give it an icon, shows on the map. It'll have all the other things that you have with AirTag, so like the left behind alerts. If you leave somewhere without your wallet, it'll alert you about that. It will also allow you to whitelist locations. Right. So for me, I whitelist the house because I don't want to, like if I leave my wallet in like my pants upstairs or something and I come down to the studio, I don't want to be alerted that I walked away from my wallet every time. It's just unnecessary. Some people might want it so they don't leave their house with their wallet, but I understand. So you can whitelist locations if you need to. Then you put into lost mode where you can leverage the large Find My community. Anyone with an iPhone, iPad, or Mac that comes within Bluetooth range of your wallet and the Chipolo tracker, you'll automatically get notified that it was found in that location. If somebody actually finds it themselves and like pick it up, they can still tap and like scan it with their phone, and it'll pop up your information that you like put on it. So if you want to put like your phone number or an email or a way to contact you, you can, so they can identify it and get back to you. I also tested with this new version of iOS that's coming out 14.5,
15.4,
I think.
15.4,
And
sorry.
with that update, Apple's adding 15.4, swapped them around. Apple's adding additional like security features to Find My. And now when you add it, there's like this big scary screen that shows like your profile pic. It shows your name and like your email address or your phone number or something and says, hey, Find My devices are not intended to use to follow people. If you do, law enforcement can track this back to you. Like it's like this is tied to you. If you try to stalk someone, they will be notified and they will know it's you. So they're very clear about that as you add this up. Like, and I love that they like, it's like a subtle hint, like a mobster saying, look, I'm not going to threaten you. I'm just going to hold this gun. But basically, so I love that they like threw that on there. Like, we're going to specifically put your information so you can see what we know. But yeah, so that's a very good thing they've added to the Find My app on setup. The only thing that it does not have is ultra wideband support. Apple does not allow third-party Find My devices to use the ultra wideband chip. So you cannot even have ultra wideband in a Find My product that isn't AirTags, which means you cannot use that precision tracking or precision finding mode in the Find My app. But I don't care. And I got so many people, if it doesn't have ultra wideband, I'm not buying it. And I think it's a terrible argument because you can use the Find My app to get very close to it.
Right.
And it's got a much louder speaker than AirTag. AirTag speaker is awful because it doesn't really have a speaker. They're just using the resonance of the plastic shell to make a noise. And it's small, but it sounds good. The Chipolo one is loud. It's much louder and it's a lot easier to find your wallet. If it's in, I was checking in like laundry in my pockets. I had like my wife hide it and like let me find it. It's easy to find. I never had a problem finding it without ultra wideband. And pulling up the precision tracking thing, it takes time. You have to like wiggle your phone around till it finds its location in 3D space. Then you have to like move until it gets like tracking the device, and then you have to move towards it. It's so much easier just to say like Siri, find my wallet, and like let the tone go out. Like so much quicker. So that does not bother me at all. This so far is the best way to track your wallet. Does have a 2-year battery life. They offer a 50% off deal if you buy when it dies. They will recycle your old one and give you half off of a new one. So I like that, and I'd prefer that over a replaceable battery because you're not going to get that long. You're probably going to get a 6-month lifespan on a replaceable battery, or you're going to get a thicker card, and I think that's going to be a problem. I think you're going to end up having a dead battery, not realizing it. You have to like buy a new cell battery to put in there, and then like, did I put that in there? Did I not put that in there? Do I get an alert that my battery is still dead? 2 years is a good time that you can set it and forget it and not worry about it. So for me, I'm fine with that, and I'm glad they're taking that environmental responsibility of recycling and replacing that card after the fact. And who knows, maybe in 2 years they will have UWB built in, and you can use precision finding if you want to. But for me, I'm
that's
really
great.
happy
And also,
with what they've dropped.
even with AirTag, I always find the sound more useful than precision finding. Like I really don't jump into precision finding very often. And I have a lot of AirTags. There have been several times where I misplaced my keys in the house. Sound is always what I go to find them. And to make the direct comparison, this is for the wallet, and compared to Apple's MagSafe wallet with Find My, this is so much better. Like, first of all, the MagSafe wallet only tracks location when it is attached to the phone and when it gets separated. So if you accidentally drop your MagSafe wallet in like the grocery store, there's no way, even with a ton of iPhones walking by it, it's not going to signal that's the location. Maybe if it read it as the final location, you get that notification from Find My saying you left it here, maybe. But with this Chipolo card, if your wallet drops out of your pocket or whatever and moves somewhere else for whatever reason, this will actually support iPhone devices pinging it, and it will update its location even when separated from you, which is a huge benefit. Again, MagSafe wallet doesn't make a sound. It won't give you that like crowdsourced location just because that's not how it works. It doesn't have that in it. So this, I mean, when it comes to a wallet location tracker, this really is, I think, a better option. And I'm excited to get mine. I can't check my order status for some reason. They don't have a order status check. My email said it would ship in end of February. It's March right now. I still don't have it. But anyway, yeah, this looks super cool. And yeah.
I've heard they're being shipped. I had some people on Twitter saying they got them. So they probably started shipping at the end of February, and you may just be behind the ball behind that initial.
But this is exciting, and I think I'm going to switch to using this in one of my like little card type wallets as opposed to the MagSafe wallet. Because also the MagSafe wallet, I just got so many notifications every time it got separated. Every time I got in the car and I wanted to put my phone on the MagSafe, air vent. I had that Belkin MagSafe thing. Had a notification. You left your wallet here. It's like, no, it's sitting right here next to me in the seat, but I needed to take it off for this. And so it'll cut down on all those notifications and will give you a location even if it moves. It doesn't just tell you the last place it was seen or last place it was disconnected from your phone. It will update with the whole Find My Network devices. So very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. Talking about the keys like you did, just the other day, like a week ago or something, I was trying to find my keys, and I did jump into precision finding, and I was like, or precision tracking, I can't remember what they call it, but I'm like walking around, and I'm getting close to my keys, and it takes me to the coat rack. And I'm like, but I have a lot of coats and sweaters here. So I end up just using the audio to find it. Precision finding or tracking would have, without that, I would have still gotten to the coat rack, and I still had to turn to the audio to actually figure out where my keys were. Like, it got me close. So if it's like a laundry pile, if it's in your couch,
you want sound. It's the best way to do it. So again, I'm glad precision finding is there for sure. Absolutely. But I have just found sound to be more useful. And this Chipolo card, is it pretty loud? You said like the speaker is a pretty good amount. Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Do you want to hear
it?
A
live demo
I can make it
of
sing.
The Chipolo Card Spot speaker. Andrew is opening up the app. He's going to the Find My app, and he's finding the Chipolo. Flash in front of the camera for us, please. Thank you. Very good.
Oh yeah, make sure I was trying to make sure I didn't have it in like backwards or something, because you do have to make sure when you put it in that speaker is facing outward. And I think I talked about this when they announced it, how much like work they went into. Like he would go around and hand this to someone and say, put this in your wallet, and they would stick it in. And you had to look which corners they were putting out that made the most sense, so that it naturally could be found.
All right, here we go. Live demo of the Chipolo Card One Spot.
Yep.
All right. I like that.
Yeah. You can stop now, buddy.
That's okay. Oh no, it's still going. It's still going.
Okay. Nope.
I like that. I like that though. It's it's a good length. It's a good length of sound. How do you stop it?
Well, I hit the button again because I was trying to get it to stop, and I hit it too many times. Just for curiosity's sake, let's play AirTag so you guys can hear.
Live comparison. I like the Chipolo One Spot. It's more of like a constant sound, and is it loud?
It does get like a peak on the AirTag, but the Chipolo sounds louder,
that's what it felt
especially
like
overall.
Over the thing. So I'm excited for this thing. Yeah, if you want to track your wallet, and it's $35 for one, which it's what $6 more. An AirTag is $29 for a single one, but this is $35. You get longer battery life, and you get something you can fit in your wallet, unlike the AirTags, which are bulbous, as you so aptly put it. And you can get 2 Chipolo card spots for $60. So that's pretty much the same price of an AirTag if you buy 2 of them. So yeah, that's very cool. Very cool. Well, I'm excited to get mine. Hopefully it comes soon. And well, that was fun. Well, again, even on a week of not much HomeKit news, Andrew, we still went 50 plus minutes every time. Every time. It's amazing.
It's probably the reason we have this podcast. Like, you just, can you just talk about like smart home stuff for like an hour? Yeah. Fine.
Yeah.
There's no news. It's fine. That doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, listeners,
doesn't matter.
Again, you want to go to youtube.com/HomeKit Insider so you could see the Chipolo One Spot on camera. You can see Andrew's sabotage evidence of his wire. You can see all of that. So go subscribe. And Yes, yeah, you held that
My
back on camera too.
massive
Very cool.
Thunderbolt
So do
display.
that. Continue sending us your questions, your HomeKit projects you got going on. We'd love to answer those questions live on the show. And 5-star ratings and reviews helps the show as well. We'd love to hear from you there. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Catch you next time.